Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. We're taking another look today at some of the Eldar leaks, this time the next Craftworld along in our list, and that is the Speedy Boys of Saim-Hann. Also, I'm just going to try something a little differently today, and instead of putting up the full picture of the leaked page the entire video, it will be up as it is here for a little while, but then I will switch it out for a typed up version of the rules. Firstly, to make it a little bit clearer and easier to read, I think, with less of the fluff text breaking it up, but also, and someone may be able to correct me or help me with this, but I'm a little bit worried about videos being copyright claimed or demonetized or taken down with it up the whole time. I know there's the whole fair use thing, but I'm not that much of an expert on it, and I'm not going to waste time here talking about it too much, but I may put a question up in the community tab and you guys can weigh in and give me your knowledge or your opinion, because I would like to know if I can have the image up the whole time or not. But anyway, I will do that in the community tab. For now, let's crack on. Saim-Hann, here we come. So their attribute Wild Host, another two-parter like Eandon, seems pretty damn good actually. It keeps part of their current rules, allowing you to reroll failed charges with your units, but then instead of allowing biker units to move and count heavy weapons as assault, it's not totally useless now, but much less useful now because they obviously don't suffer the penalty for moving and shooting in 9th edition. But instead of that, you can now fall back and still declare a charge. And this, as any Custodes player will tell you, is a really powerful ability. Especially, of course, on units that get bonuses for charging. So things like Howling Banshees or Shining Spears will really love having this trait. But even on regular units, it's really nice to be able to just pick and choose your combats much more effectively and be able to much more easily avoid scary enemy units for ongoing combats whilst leaping up and kind of circumventing them and engaging things like Devastator squads or other ranged units that may be trying to hide safe behind your opponent's lines. So I am a huge fan of this trait. I think both parts of it are brilliant, and if you are running a fast melee focused list with lots of jet bikes and aspect warriors, I think it will serve you very well. The Saim-Hann Warlord trait Wild Rider Chieftain also plays into this and stays again very similar to the current incarnation, but instead of getting a 3-inch pile-in towards the nearest enemy character and then gaining +1 attack if you put all of your attacks into the same enemy character, the new version is much more versatile, just giving you a flat +1 attack all the time, and then also allowing you to heroically intervene 6 inches instead of the usual 3. So in nature, it is very similar, but it's just much more powerful by being more all-encompassing in general. Having that extra attack all the time will really help if you get charged or you find yourself in an ongoing combat, and a 6-inch heroic intervention is always a very nice sneaky trick to pull on your opponent. So again, a really nice, similar, but definitely boosted Warlord trait for the Wild Host. Their relic, the Talisman of Tionkar, is brand new, replacing the Nova Lance of Saim-Hann. The Lance replaced a Laser Lance and gave you an Assault 1, Strength 6, -4 AP, 2 damage ranged attack, and then in melee, a +2 Strength, -4 AP, 2 damage attack. But on the charge, you attacked at Strength 8, and wound rolls of 6 did an extra 2 damage, so 4 damage from your Warlord on the turn they had charged. The new relic, the Talisman, is arguably better though. It loses out on the ranged attack profile, which is a shame, but what you get now is just a flat buff that, when you make a melee attack, if you have charged or heroically intervened, you resolve it at +1 strength and damage, and you gain an extra -1 AP. So it is much more consistent and a nice buff no matter what weapon you may be using. You don't have to have the Laser Lance to kind of benefit from it now. The potential for 2 extra damage is gone now, which is a shame, but it is really a much more consistent 1 damage all the time, which alongside the extra strength and extra AP will make it really easy for your Warlord to do a good chunk of damage, and then obviously combined with the trait and the Craftworld attribute, getting into combat with a Saim-Hann Warlord is going to be so easy. And then once you're there, you'll have +1 attack, +1 strength, +1 damage, and better AP. So they are going to be pretty damn brutal, I have to be honest. Finally, we have the stratagem, which is still the Warriors of the Raging Winds. This is still 1 CP, and whilst it previously allowed you to not only advance and charge, as well as reroll hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase, it now simply lets you charge if you've advanced. So yes, it has been nerfed, but on the flip side, there are precious few ways to get advance and charge in 9th edition. A lot of armies lost the stratagems or relics or warlord traits that allowed you to do it as often as you could do in 8th. So as far as buffs go, advance and charge is an incredibly strong one, and I think giving reroll hit rolls of 1 on top of that would have probably pushed it to a 2 CP stratagem in this edition. So personally, I'm actually fine with it being a really nice, really cheap 1 CP and giving that incredibly potent advance and charge buff to a unit. And then of course you've got your reroll charges attribute, so that is going to mean that turn 1 charges are very likely with a Saim-Hann jet bike unit. So there we go, that is Saim-Hann, nice and simple and good. It's a faction that I never really thought much about, if I'm being honest, but looking through these rules, I have to say I'm actually really impressed. I can imagine making a ridiculously killy jetbike warlord, or having a big scary blob of shining spears hiding out of line of sight turn 1, ready to make a huge move, advance and charge, which you can re-roll to get that turn 1 charge off and get into your enemy's scariest unit turn 1 and just obliterate them before the game has really even begun. I think the trait is really powerful and combines really well with the relic and the warlord trait and the stratagem. They all work so well together. So I have to say I think it's incredibly fun, it seems very powerful, and it seems like it's going to be a very fluffy build that you put together by combining all of these abilities. So I have to say, from the 3 that we've looked at so far, Ulthwé, Eandon and Saim-Hann, I think this one may well be my favourite. But what do you think of Saim-Hann? How does it compare to Ulthwé and Eandon for you? And will you be testing it out when the codex drops? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me. But until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.